He was a kid. His mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. I don't want to go. Well, that's too bad. Well, they get there. She goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey, want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. That's not cool. The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look. The kid's now ugly crying. The mom runs out of the store. What's going on? His leg. The man's embarrassed. The mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still. In most classrooms, misbehavior gets you a warning or a detention. Well, back in the 80s, it was something completely different. In this classroom, any deviation from the system, like talking too much or misbehaving, throwing stuff, spitballs, it required a physical debt. Hey, Kyle, spitball! The teacher didn't make them sit in a corner or put a goofy hat on. Next to his desk on the floor laid a sheet of coarse sandpaper. One mistake, you had to get up there and kneel down on the sandpaper. And you weren't just kneeling, you were working. You had to stay in that exact position while your knees grinded onto the grit while you had to write massive amounts of words. And what you normally did is there were a list of 30 words, and you had to write each word 10 times. The punishment was designed to make them try to write fast, because the longer you took to write these words, the longer you had to kneel. It's actually incredibly horrifying, and it would completely not fly today. I can't believe that's what they did back then. Eventually, they stopped doing that, thank God. But that teacher never got in trouble because, well, it was the 80s. Luke goes over to his friend Brad's house for the first time. And right away he can see that the family's pretty strange. This family's pretty strange. Nothing huge, just weird energy. The mom and dad are kind of weird, and the friend Brad keeps saying, hey, whatever you do, bro, do not sit in my dad's chair. Okay, I won't. They hang out all night playing video games, eating junk food, doing normal sleepover stuff. Eventually they go to bed. Then around like 2 in the morning, Luke wakes up to go to the bathroom. The house is completely dark and quiet. So he walks into the hallway, half asleep. Then he hears something moving downstairs. Like scratching noises. So he looks down into the living room, and he is shook. I'm shook. Because Brad's dad is crawling around on all fours. A full-grown man moving slowly around the carpet like a cat. But then it gets worse. The dad then jumps onto the chair, turned towards the family cat, and begins to lick the cat's head. He's grooming his cat. And the cat's just sitting there like, yep, this is normal. Luke said his brain just completely shut down. He ran out of that house, ran 2 blocks away, called his mom, and his mom came to pick him up. He never went to that house or talked to Luke ever again after that. Oh, that's insane. This kid came back from summer break like 4 inches taller. Hey, what's up, guys? And everybody noticed immediately. Bro, what happened to you? Yeah, you're like tall now. Then he just says, growth spurt. The thing is, he had been a short kid forever. So now he's walking different, he's feeling different. He's standing straighter, he's talking in class, making jokes. People are complimenting him constantly. And he's popular now. But then a few months later, it's gym class. Everyone's playing kickball outside. And this kid is taking it seriously. He's talking trash. Nice shot, idiot. What's up? I'm gonna win. Well, he's up, and the ball gets rolled towards him. He takes one big kick, and his shoe flies off. Oh no. Now, that's not a big deal, but then he had to go get his shoe. At first, everyone's like laughing, like, your shoe fell off, no big deal. But as he begins to walk towards his shoe, they notice that he's limping. Yo, bro, why are you limping? You good? Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry. I'll get my shoe. Wait, hold on. What the heck? Everyone runs over. They pin this dude down in the grass and they pull his other shoe off. Let me see this other shoe. What? Inside his shoes are these giant 4-inch height inserts, like full elevator platforms. These were the things that were making him taller. I can explain. Yeah, so can we. You're a loser. And the rest of the year after that, kids were brutal to him. Kind of feel bad, but you guys, doesn't matter how short or tall you are, just rock it. This kid's taking a math test one day when something falls out of her pencil case. The teacher sees the piece of paper on the ground. Oh, Stacy, I saw that. Pick up that paper and go to the office. No cheating in my class. No, I wasn't cheating. Nope, go to the office. No, seriously, I wasn't cheating. Just read it. Take the note and go to the office now. Geez, lady's going a little crazy, huh? But this girl then goes to the office. So now she's walking through the hallways, carrying her backpack, while the teacher follows behind her. She grabbed a different faculty member to watch the class while she left. They get to the principal's office. Stacy, sit down. What's going on here? I caught her with a cheat sheet, cheating during our test. Go ahead. Hand him the piece of paper. The teacher looks at Stacy. Stacy looks at the principal looks at Stacy. Here, go ahead. Read the note. The principal takes the paper and reads it out loud. Eggs, bacon, window cleaner, popcorn, Cheez-Its. This is a dang grocery list. Yeah, I know. I'm going to the store after school for my mom. I wasn't cheating. You crazy teacher. Mrs. Johnson, are you serious right now? I could have. Is there somebody watching your class right now? Yes, Mrs. Carroll is. Good. Stacy, go back to class. We're having a chat. That's karma. This kid goes to the arcade one weekend and finds something sitting on the carpet right next to one of the machines. It's a key. At first, he thinks it's just a random key, but then he realized it looked a little different, so he tries it in one of the machines. It works! The machine opens to the area where it keeps all of its tickets, and it works on every single machine in the arcade. So now he realizes, I have so much power! But I better be careful. Now this is the town arcade that all of the kids go to. And the prizes that arcade gives out for tickets are these unique prizes that you can't find anywhere else. So what he does is he plays it safe by slowly stealing tickets little by little until he has a giant amount. He would then take these tickets to school. Look what I have. Is this for the town arcade? Dude, give me some. What do you got? And he's trading these tickets for basically everything. Lunch, desserts, homework answers. One kid traded him a pair of barely worn Jordans. Here, have them right off my feet. Oh, this gets you a bunch of tickets. Here. Now, eventually, the arcade catches on because these kids kept coming in and redeeming tickets, although they never even played a single game there. Boss, something's weird here. The managers are confused, and the machines get checked. And after that, the key didn't work anymore. But by that point, this kid had so much random stuff that he was fine with it. I regret nothing. Legendary barter system. It's first grade and this kid's at a school assembly. The whole school is there. It's a very small school, kindergarten through 12th grade. And it's some educational assembly, like the frickin' Wiggles, trying to get students to learn in fun ways. Actors singing and dancing, they're trying way too hard to make learning look fun. And that's a rhombus. Well, this kid is barely paying attention. Because the night before this, he was watching Spider-Man cartoons, and he was thinking about an episode. So he's half asleep when one of the actors asks, all right, students, who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? Well, this kid's friend elbows him. He's messing with him. Hey, bro, she called on you. So he raises his hand. Okay. She says, okay, what's the answer? What's the question? Who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? And instead of actually thinking about it, he said the first thing that comes to his mind. Norman Virgil Osborne. No. Dead silence. Everyone's confused. Then one of the older kids says, did he just answer that question with the Green Goblin? That's hilarious! And then suddenly the entire school starts cheering him on. They push him down to the middle of the gym and they tell him to dance. Dance! 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 They're chanting. The kid has no idea what to do, so he just busts a move. It was horrible. He was embarrassed and he left the gym. But honestly, that sounds like an awesome assembly. He slept through every single math class. The teacher talking, he was asleep. Putting notes up on the board, dude was knocked out. Everybody got used to seeing him face down on his desk. Well, one day the teacher was absolutely sick of this. I'm absolutely sick of this. One morning, the teacher stopped in the middle of the class and he wrote a complicated problem on the board. He then told the person sitting next to this kid, hey, Billiards, wake him up. Hey, wake up, man. The teacher then says this. Since you've been paying attention so closely all class, solve this problem for me. You have 4 minutes. The whole class is waiting for this kid to get embarrassed. He immediately walks up to the board. He's still exhausted. He takes the marker. He begins writing. 3 seconds later, he says, done. The teacher's like, yeah, no way. Let's see. It was perfect. The kid sits back down and puts his head right back on the desk. A few days later, the teacher tries again. Wake him up. I got a really hard one this time. Bro, 273.67. That's correct. It becomes a thing. He tried a few more times before he just stopped bothering him. Just let him sleep throughout every single class because he always got A's on the test and he always did his homework. So why can't the kid sleep? Yeah, this kid went to a Catholic school in Florida. Florida. And if you've ever been to Florida, you know that there are lizards everywhere. On walls, sidewalks, just chilling by the pool.
It's a lovely day.
So one day, this little lizard gets inside the school building. It's in a classroom. And everyone's freaking out for some reason. The teacher's consistently saying, "Nobody touch it! Nobody touch it!" And this one kid thought she was scared. That's why she was saying it. So he chased the lizard around. He picked it up. He caught it. "Don't worry, miss. I got it. I'll go put him outside." The teacher then gets really weird.
Oh, you shouldn't have touched the lizard.
"Why? You just invited the devil into your soul."
That's funny.
"No, I'm serious. Get in the hall." She then sends this kid out into the hallway and calls this nun to come up. The nun then takes him to the chapel part of school where she prayed over him for the rest of the day. And this kid is sitting there. The nun also made the kid watch her kill the lizard with a cross. I'm not sure what kind of Florida Catholic school this is, but that's crazy. In 7th grade, this kid realized that Pokemon cards were frickin' currency. His older brother handed him a shoebox full one day. "Hey bro, you can have these." "Hey, thanks Johnny." And they were great cards. There was EXs, GXs, full arts, super rare cards in there. And at first he brought them to school to show them off. But then someone offered him $15 for that one. "Okay, thanks, here you go." And that's when it clicked. He built out a binder, he set prices for specific cards, and he started dropping little hints around the hallways. "This full art right here is only available today at lunch. After that, it's off the table forever." And that created urgency, because kids were like, "Oh my gosh, I want that card, I can only get it today." And suddenly, kids were lining up by his lunch table. It was kind of epic. He would also sell in the hallways, in the bathrooms. Between periods, it was just him. He didn't have a business partner. And teachers were seeing this like, "Oh, how cute. He's making a little pocket change selling his cute little cards." But no. By the end of that year, he pulled in more than $3,400. And that is a business mindset. You gotta respect the hustle. He got detention on his birthday. No! So apparently he was talking back to a teacher, and the teacher gave him after-school detention today. "But it's my birthday." "I don't care." So it was after school, he was in detention, sitting there, sad. He was supposed to be hanging out with his friends. This sucks so bad. But then the detention room door busted open, and his 5 best friends walked in. "Hey, yo, happy birthday, bro." "What's up, brother? Happy birthday, man." "Yo, what?" The detention teacher was like, "Hey, you guys can't be in here. It's his birthday, man. Come on." One friend brought in cupcakes, soda, balloons, and they passed cupcakes and soda out to everybody in the classroom, even the teacher. "Oh, thank you." "Hey, we get a cupcake too." "Of course, man, enjoy. This party's for everybody." And then they sang to their friend, "Happy birthday to you." "I blow out your candle, bro." And for the rest of the detention period, they were listening to music, eating cupcakes, and the teacher that tried to shut it down at first ordered a frickin' pizza. And by the end, nobody wanted to leave. "You know what? There's still some pizza left and some soda. 20 more minutes, huh?" Hey, nice! Honestly, best birthday ever. That's frickin' awesome.
Yo, I got a shortcut.
Through there? So after school one day, this kid swears he found a shortcut home. He's pointing to this giant cornfield like, "Trust me, it's way faster." Now, a bunch of kids are skeptical. "Bro, that's not a path. That's just corn." But half the group follows him anyways. At first, it's funny. They're laughing, they're pushing through the corn stalks, they're making jokes. Then 10 minutes pass, there's no road. It seems like it's just endless corn. "Wait, we passed this corn stalk already, didn't we? It's all corn, man." "Trust me, just we'll keep walking." After a bit more walking, panic does begin to kick in, and their phones aren't working. The sun's setting, you can hear coyotes in the distance. You hear that? We're gonna die. By the time they finally stumble out of the cornfield, it's dark, they're dirty, scratched up, and dehydrated. And what do they see throughout the neighborhood filling these streets? Police, firefighters, parents, everybody freaking out. Turns out, word spread fast, and when this group of kids never came home, things got crazy. "Hey, a bunch of kids never came home today. Get every unit out there right now, we gotta find them." The whole town formed a frickin' search party. And this shortcut, it added 4 hours. And the kid that had this idea never lived it down. That's insane. This one skate park, everyone called this kid the professor. While the kids from the neighborhood were hitting the ramps, the professor was sitting at the side with a notebook and a pencil. He didn't even own a skateboard. He just sat there, measuring the incline of the death gap, a 10-foot jump over the staircase that was very difficult. Just a great angle, this one too. Then one day, the best skater in the neighborhood shows up. Let's call him Jackson. He was there to try to clear this death gap and make a name for himself in the neighborhood. I'm the best. I can do it. He tried 5 times. Every time, his board would scuff off and he would fall down. At this point, his elbows were bleeding and he was getting incredibly frustrated. Everyone watching was like, "You're not gonna do it, man. You're still a good skater, though." "Yeah, just give it up, Jackson. I'm gonna clear it." That's when the professor goes up to him. "Hey, dude, you're actually approaching it from a completely different angle. If you hit it right here, just like that, I promise you'll clear the gap." The kid's just trying to help him. But Jackson says, "Shut up, dude. You don't even skate. I'm not gonna listen to you, loser." But Jackson had went over this jump thousands of times in his head. It's been in his notebook for days. He knows the angles. So he grabs Jackson's skateboard. Let me see this. He hops on, goes to the other end of the ramp, and he drops in. He's going. And he clears it. Whoa, he did it!
Hey, nice work, man.
What the heck? I told you, bro. If you listened to me, you could have had all the glory. But now, it's mine. Come on! Yeah, I'm awesome! The professor went home, and he never returned to that skate park again. And Jackson, that night, cried himself to sleep. And it's all because this is actually genius. There was this kid named Max in 8th grade, and he turned faking sick into a full-time business. He wasn't the popular type, but he had a knack for details. He knew every single school nurse's shift, and he knew every symptom that would get people sent home fast. One day, his buddy is stressing about a math test.
Dude, I didn't study. I'm so screwed.
"Give me $10 right now and I'll have you home by lunch."
Okay.
He hands over $10 and Max goes into his backpack and he pulls out this little clear balloon looking thing. And inside it was a very strange substance. "Take this, go to class, put it in your mouth and then act sick. Walk up to the garbage can and bite down. Then spit all the stuff out into the garbage can. It's gonna taste horrible, but it'll look like you actually puked."
Seriously?
"Trust me. It also smells like real puke, so they'll believe you." Well, he goes to class and he does exactly what Max told him to do. The teacher was like, "Oh, sweetheart, oh my God, you're sick. Oh my God, it smells like puke. Yes, you are very sick. Go to the nurse. Go home." Bingo. Goes to the nurse calls his parents, boom, he goes home, studies the test, takes the test a day late, and he passes. Word spreads to a few select people, and Max ups his prices, $20. Each case was specialized on different ways to get them sent home. He even had package deals where he would include forged doctor's notes or heating pads to put on your forehead so it felt like you had a fever. And if people couldn't pay right away, he would help them out. They would just owe him. But then he would have runners that would go get the money from them no matter what. It was a serious business. Eventually, the teachers found out about this and this came crashing down horribly and he was suspended. But for a while, he ran the craziest business that school had ever seen. And honestly, kind of genius. Gotta respect the hustle. This is insane. A kid goes to a friend's house for dinner. They're sitting down. It's spaghetti night. "Okay, we know the rules, everyone. We must say what we're thankful for." They're all sitting down, the food's in front of them. This kid assumes that they each say one thing and then move on to eat. But the mom then says this, before each and every bite. Wait, before each bite? Yeah, it builds gratitude. So the plates are steaming, nobody's eating yet, and it gets to the dad first. "I'm thankful for my family." Then it moves to this kid's friend. "I'm thankful for spaghetti." And then it gets to this kid. Go on. "I'm thankful for math class." That's good. It keeps going, bite after bite after bite. By round 6, this kid is losing it. "I'm thankful for forks and gravity and oxygen." Hey, don't get smart. Dinner takes 2 hours, and this kid decides to leave. And as he's walking out, he whispers to himself, "I'm thankful I'm never coming back here again." Yeah, no kidding. Hey, look, we got a sub. It was supposed to be an easy day. The regular teacher was out and the sub came in. And sure, a couple kids whispered during the lesson. One kid even tossed a paper airplane. But for the most part, the class wasn't bad at all. Well, the next morning, the regular teacher storms in. "So, this is the note the sub left me, and I cannot believe you." Wait, what? "The worst class I've ever seen. Total chaos. Students disrespectful, talking over instructions, disobeying, and disrespecting me." What? And the class erupts. Yo, that is not true at all. Yeah, this sub is lying. But the teacher slams the paper on the desk. "I will not hear it. Every single one of you needs to have a 5-page paper written and turned in tomorrow on why what you did was wrong." And the class didn't really know what to do because they know they weren't that bad, but the teacher was just going to believe the sub's note. And the sub definitely lied. This kid turned a broken vending machine into a business. So during construction at this one school, it got moved to this weird corner by the band room. Most people ignore it. It's kind of like cracked. The lights don't work in there. It just looks off. This one freshman notices something. If you tilt the keypad kind of forward, it'll come off. And there's a bunch of random little switches and buttons behind it. And he realized if you just press a bunch of these buttons, snacks just start falling out of the vending machine. This broken vending machine. What does this do? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, I hit the jackpot. So instead of going nuts, he keeps this quiet. Starts posting on Snapchat. $1 chips, meet by the band room. By this point, he had gathered a bunch of snacks from this vending machine. And people were lining up to pay for these snacks. And the thing is, he's selling these for cheaper than the vending machine charged because, well, he got them for free. By the end of the first week, it was a full-blown snack operation and he made $80. But one day, a custodian was kind of watching him from afar and saw what he was doing. What is that kid doing? Nice. Dear God. The day after that, the vending machine was moved. But by that point, most of the snacks were gone anyway, and he made a good amount of money. So, hey, you gotta respect the hustle. One day, the school had a guest speaker come for an assembly. The whole school was packed into the gym. Hundreds of students, everyone bored out of their mind. The speaker was some local business guy, and all he was going to be doing was talking about leadership and hard work. Nobody was paying attention. Until about 20 minutes in, a student, let's call him Kevin, stood up. Excuse me! The entire gym went silent. Everyone looked at him. Even the speaker stopped mid-sentence. And in a serious, confident voice, the kid says, I have a question. Yeah, totally. What's your question? Then Kevin, without hesitation, asked, would you rather fight a gorilla once a year but you get a sword? Or have to fight a chicken every time you open a door forever? The entire gym lost it. The teachers were stunned. The speaker stood there processing. Finally, I think I'd take the gorilla. And Kevin just nodded. Respectable choice. And he sat back down. Well, as you can imagine, the entire assembly was completely derailed. For the next 10 minutes, students were arguing about the gorilla or the chicken. The gorilla's the obvious choice. I mean, what are you gonna do? Every single time you open a door, you gotta fight a chicken? I just won't open doors, you idiot. Like, that's realistic. How are you gonna go forever without opening doors? Principal finally got on the mic. Everybody shut up! And the assembly was cut short right then and there. And after that, the would you rather fight a gorilla or a chicken became the most debated question in this school's history. People were making posters and hanging them on the wall. Gorilla versus chicken. Kevin never really said anything about it after that day. But for the rest of high school, people would walk past him in the hall and just whisper, hey Kevin, respectable choice. And that's how he became a legend. So it was senior prank season, and this one might have been the most beautiful senior prank this school has ever seen. It's the last week of school, and the seniors show up. They've got a ladder, a few backpacks, and they're carrying bags upon bags of something. How much you get? 30 pounds. You're kidding. Nope. 30 pounds of confetti. They sneak into the assembly hall, where the school organ is. Now, the school was about to have an assembly, and for some reason at every single assembly, the music teacher plays the organ. Now, it's a giant old organ with these large pipes, and these pipes stretch up to the ceiling. With the ladder set up, they climb up, and they start pouring confetti straight down each of the organ's pipes. And not just a little confetti, pounds of it, until pretty much every pipe is stuffed. Well, only one teacher is in on it, and that's the music teacher. He gave them the green light because that old organ was being thrown out anyway. But nobody else knows about this, okay? So, 2 hours later, the whole school is crammed in for this assembly. The principal gives his speech, and then the organist starts playing. Whoosh! A cloud of confetti blasts into the air like fireworks while this beautiful organ music is playing. With each note, another explosion of confetti goes off. And now it's like a blizzard. Students are cheering. They're trying to catch it. It's beautiful! But the teachers are really confused. Oh my god, what's happening? What's happening? The principal's standing there looking around like the ceiling just collapsed. Meanwhile, the music teacher is just calmly playing the organ while this crazy storm is happening. It's a beautiful sight. By the end, the floor is covered in confetti, the seats are all buried, and the seniors are just looking around like, wow, we did that. And that was it. That organ never played another note, but that prank went down in school history. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But this kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey,
Johnny, come on, man! This is Team Huddle! Give me your phone right now!
Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just gonna get a lecture.
Fine.
Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking, he's almost crying. The coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass.
Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid.
Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light. He flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department.
Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay?
From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice.
Dude, that coach is kinda awesome.
This kid saved the school dance. It was middle school, and the spring dance was canceled because of budget cuts. The school said they couldn't afford it, and everybody was devastated. Well, this one kid notices something. In the basement of the school, there were 3 vending machines, all of them out of order, but all of them stacked with food and snacks. They've been there for months, maybe more than a year. But he knew about this because his uncle was the janitor, and he used to hang out in the basement with his uncle. This kid was also smart. He realized that these vending machines used standardized 7-pin locks. Pretty sure I can open these. So he looked online and he found out that you could just buy a replacement key. So he did. Comes in the mail pretty quick. He goes down there one day, unlocks the vending machines, and takes all the snacks out and puts them in a big duffel bag. Then he sets up during lunch for the next few days, selling everything. Chips for $1, candy bars for 50 cents. Kids are lining up because the school snacks were super overpriced. The thing is, he's not keeping any of that money. Every dollar goes straight to the dance fund. He keeps this going because he had a lot of snacks from those vending machines. Within 2 weeks, he raises enough money to be able to afford all the school decorations, the food, the punch, everything. He goes to the principal. Hey, so I know everyone was so excited about the dance and they're sad that it's not happening, but I raised some money and I can afford the entire thing. The principal's like, all right, let's do it, kid. They used the gym. School all agrees. They never found out where that money came from. They were just grateful. This kid saved the school dance and everybody had a great time. It's beautiful. Gotta respect the hustle.
You must clean the dish before you put it in the dishwasher. What?
Kenny's mom had this incredibly specific belief that the dishwasher was only meant for sanitizing, not cleaning. If you put a plate in there with a smear of sauce on it, she would pull each and every dish out of there, give you a lecture, and make you wash every dish before you put it back in.
Kenny, look at this. A smudge of barbecue sauce. Take these all out, rewash them, and put them in the dishwasher.
Kenny spent 45 minutes every single night scrubbing clean plates and cups before putting it in the machine.
He'd be there scrubbing, looking at it. Mom, it's literally called the dishwasher. Can't we just start putting them in there and that's it?
No, Kenny. He does this for years.
Scrub dish, put dish in dishwasher, dishwasher run, dish done.
One day he goes to his friend Steve's house. They have dinner there. His mom takes all these greasy, messy, nasty plates and puts them directly in the dishwasher. So Steve, your mom just puts them in the dishwasher? Yeah, it's a dishwasher, Kenny. It washes the dishes.
Bruh.
Kenny then realized he spent years doing a pointless task because of his mom's OCD. Mom, Steve's dishwasher cleans their dishes just fine. Yeah, well, Steve's family probably shares a shower towel, so. Jeez. The senior prank was to fork the lawn, which means sticking forks all over the school's lawn. You see, at this one particular school, they used real silverware, and the seniors have been planning it for a long time. All right, guys, we have 3 months. Whenever you get the chance, steal a fork.
You got it, Johnny. Brilliant plan, old chap.
Every lunch period, they would be taking these forks secretly, and they were doing it slowly so it seemed like a natural disappearance of silverware. But by the end of spring, the seniors had hundreds of forks. And no other class knew. Then the night before their last day of school, they came to campus, quiet. And they took all of these forks, and they shoved them into the lawn, evenly spread apart. And there were so many forks. By the time they were done, the grass looked like it had grown metal hair.
It's beautiful.
Bro, take that wig off. And the next day, administration went crazy. And the thing was, there was only one custodian left for that school year. This older guy.
My name's Mr. Johnny.
Hey, Mr. Johnny, can you please pull these forks out of the lawn? I don't want anybody tripping.
Oh, okay.
And then there he was, down on his hands and knees, pulling these forks out of the grass. Hundreds of them. Bending, sweating, he's working alone. A teacher finally came in to try to help him. Hey, Mr. Johnny, you can... That's when he saw his face. Mr. Johnny was crying.
Thank you.
That prank then went down in school history, but nobody ever talked about the guy that had to clean it all up. Hey, respect Mr. Johnny. Weird things teachers made students do. One day in 6th grade, this kid got to his math class before everybody else. It was just him and the teacher for a few minutes, and he was kind of anxious, so he was sitting there kind of jittery, but minding his own business. The teacher then noticed he was jittery, and this is what she did. Hi, I want you to stand up right now, please. Okay. Now I want you to dance. Just dance right there in your spot. Just dance. What do you mean? Start dancing. Can you at least put some music on or something for me? No. And so he stood there and he was dancing. He had no idea why he was doing this, but students were walking down the hall looking at him so weird. What the heck? Can I please stop dancing now? No! And then finally the bell rang. Okay, now you can stop. Thanks. He told his parents what happened and they were super pissed. His mom went to the school the next day and chewed this teacher out in front of the principal.
This senior class pulled a crazy prank. One night before school, they sent a few people out to pet stores to buy buckets and buckets of crickets. Oh, we got this. This is gonna be the best prank ever. Then, right before lunch, they poured buckets of crickets into any trash can they could find. Well, that day during lunch, a fight broke out. People were pushing and shoving each other. Hey, wait a minute. A crowd begins to form. And amidst all this chaos, these garbage cans got knocked over. And I guess the crickets that have been sitting in there saw this as an opportunity to go crazy. So now there's this wave, this swarm of crickets just going all over the place, and people are freaking out. It turns into chaos. Nobody knows why there's an army of crickets, and somebody pulls a fire alarm. Within minutes, the school loses complete control. And at the end of the day, pest control was there trying to fix the situation, trying to get rid of all these crickets, and I guess they did their best. Weeks go by, then months, and crickets are still showing up. In classrooms, in lockers. Years later, every so often, you could hear them at night in the ceiling, all because of one senior prank. And honestly, that's legendary.
Genius level 1,000. So this kid gets a job at the local movie theater. 2 tickets to the Helpful Cow, please. All right, enjoy the show. Well, day 3, he learns a pretty cool thing. All right, staff, a reminder, you all get free popcorn. Isn't that awesome? Best job ever. So every shift, right before close, he fills a bag with free popcorn. He ties it up and he stuffs it in his backpack. Popcorn into backpack. He goes home, goes into his bedroom, and he puts that popcorn into an even bigger bag of popcorn. It's a massive trash bag he keeps in his closet. He does this for days. His closet turns into a popcorn storage unit, and he's trying to keep the popcorn as fresh as possible. Then what he does is he takes his popcorn to school and he sells it. Like, for example, one night during a basketball game, the school is selling tiny popcorn bags for $4 each. He comes in, $2, fresh movie theater quality popcorn, $2. He goes behind the bleachers and a line forms. People are ditching the real concession stand to buy popcorn off of him. He upgrades his business too. Employees get 50% off of all candy. So one day he buys a bunch, tosses it in his backpack, and sells it at school for full price. Here you have candy. Yep, Twix, Reese's, Butterfinger, what do you want? He's basically running concessions every day at school. And by the end of the year, he made more money selling popcorn and candy than the theater paid him to work there. And that is genius. You gotta respect the hustle. The wrong grandkid. Every few months, she would get an envelope in the mail. Oh, sweet. It was Grandma's handwriting. Inside of it, a crisp $20 bill. And a note that said, for gas. I don't even drive, Mom. Grandma's old, sweetie. Let's not question it. Money's money. Years go by and the letters keep coming. Always the same message. For gas. Then one summer, the entire family's over for a barbecue. Well, her cousin pulls up. New car, loud music bumping. He's about 5 years older than she is. What's up, family? Grandma hugs him. She's laughing. Oh, I see that gas money's going to good use. The cousin goes, gas money? Yeah, I've been mailing it to you for years. Well, this girl overheard that. Grandma, you've been mailing me that. Oh, my fault. What had happened was the grandma had written down this address years ago. It was the wrong address. It was the address of Ashley Johnson. The grandkid she meant to send it to was Adam Johnson. So all she wrote on the letter was A. Johnson. You can see where the confusion would come into play. Well, Grandma, looks like you owe me like $300 now. Oh, no. Your cousin probably needed that money more than you do. I mean, look at your nice car. You got plenty of it. That's hilarious.
At this middle school, this gym class was brutal. Every single day, mile runs, rain or shine. No basketball, no dodgeball, just running. So when this kid showed up in a cast, people were jealous. No gym for him for like a month and a half. Eventually, he healed. But when the doctors took his cast off, they gave it back to him. And that gave him a brilliant idea. I have a brilliant idea. He reinforced the inside of the cast with foam, rewrapped parts of the outside with bandage tape, and kept the cast in a sling. Then he began making an offer to students. $50 a month. No gym, no questions asked. So what? I gave you the money, you give me the cast, and I wear it for a month, and then I don't have to do gym? That's right, my furry little friend. What? Nothing. And it worked. Kids who paid would get the cast, put it on, and be limping around school, holding their arm like it hurt. They could even pay extra, and this kid would forge doctor's notes for them. Well, when they walked into gym class with his cast on, the gym teacher asked no questions. They were just gonna sit out, and that was that. Well, demand got so high, the wait list was pretty long. He even had people Venmoing him early to reserve a spot. Well, some teachers were starting to get skeptical about why so many kids were breaking their left arm, but it wasn't that big of a deal yet. And soon enough, this entire business fell apart. One of the kids who rented this cast for a month let his friend borrow it for his gym period. I don't want to do gym today, man. Bro, it's fine. Take this. I rented it. It's mine for the month anyway. Here, put it on. Nice. Super dumb move. So third period, one kid walks into gym class with the cast on. Then fourth period, a completely different kid walks in with the same cast on to gym class. The gym teacher clocked it immediately. They both got sent to the office. They snitched on the kid who ran this business and boom, everything was shut down. Kind of a brilliant idea, but maybe it could have been executed better, but still, you gotta respect the hustle. A beautiful lunchtime service. While everybody else ate chicken nuggets on plastic plates, a couple students disappeared every single lunch period and came back smelling like meat and potatoes. The chef, his name was Liam. What's up? I'm Liam. Both of Liam's parents were chefs, so he grew up learning the trade. Now at school, he had cooking class first period, and he had a free period right before lunch. So he launched a business. For $30, you got a private table backstage of the auditorium, a 3-course meal he cooked the night before, fresh linens, candlelight, and music. He would reheat everything in the cooking room, and he would plate it himself. And he served it to his guests, wearing an apron, gloves, and a chef hat. And the thing is, people booked this service every single day to impress their crush. This is nice, huh? It's delicious. You really outdid yourself here. To settle rivalries, I'll stop stealing your pencils, but you gotta stop tying my shoes together during class. Fine, you have a deal. Tiramisu for you both? Ah, yes, thank you. This is lovely. Some kids even booked it to make business deals. I'll sell your product to the basketball games, but I want 15%, 10%. But I have a new business launching soon, and I'll get you in on the ground floor, 50-50. You have a deal. Tiramisu? Ah, yes, please. This is lovely. And spots filled up in advance. This service was booked like 3 weeks. He only did 1 table a day. He never advertised. It was simply word of mouth. If you wanted to book, you would have to come up to him and say, "Chef, do you still offer your service?" "Absolutely. I could fit you in 2 weeks on the 17th. I'll take it." Holy crap. You gotta respect the hustle. So one day in 8th grade, this school had a fire drill. Pretty normal, the alarm goes off, and the teacher lines everybody up. But this one kid, he had a plan. I have a plan. See, earlier that week, the teacher said something that gave him an idea. If there's ever a fire class, you should only take the essentials, okay? So, while everyone walked out with nothing, this kid sprinted out carrying his entire desk, chair included. He was full speed hauling it through the hallway. "Hey, why are you taking your desk?" "Young man, what are you doing?" And he just yelled back, "It's an essential!" And then outside, while the whole school stood in the parking lot, he sat down at his desk like it was a normal school day. He started pulling out his notebooks and he was taking fake notes. The kid was a real comedian. Everyone was dying of laughter. Teachers were too confused to even yell at him. And then when the principal finally came over and asked, "Hi, what are you doing?" he just shrugged and said, "I thought we were evacuating, so I evacuated my education." Okay. And after that, every single fire drill, someone tried to take something bigger out with them. It became this crazy thing that people were doing, until one day the principal got on the intercom and begged, "During fire drills, students, please, stop taking the furniture outside with you. Please." Honestly, that kid's a legend. For his grandpa's birthday, this kid wanted to do something special. He wanted to give his grandpa a custom phone case covered with photos of all 9 cousins. So 6 weeks before his grandpa's birthday, he texts all the cousins. So send me a recent picture of yourself so I can include you. Thanks. 2 weeks go by, no response. He reminds them again, but this time he adds a warning. If you don't send one, I'm putting a picture of my dog on there instead. Well, 3 cousins reply with, just grab one off my Instagram. Well, he doesn't. The day before the deadline, he sends out one last text. You have 24 hours or it's the dog. And they still don't say anything. So when Grandpa's party comes and he unwraps the gift, there it is. 9 photos of this dude's dog. Oh, this is fantastic. He loved it. And these pictures of his grandson's dog, they were awesome. One picture was a dog in a sombrero. The next one, he was wearing a chicken costume. There was one of the dog in a pumpkin patch. Just these really fun, awesome pictures. Well, the cousins are embarrassed, and the cousins' parents are furious. They're like, you did this on purpose. You are petty. But Grandpa, he thinks it's hilarious. Best phone case I've ever had. And that's awesome.
She liked this boy in her art class. Hi. Hey. The kid was quiet, he was funny, he drew comics in his sketchbook. Well, through a few of her friends, she found out that he lived a couple blocks away from her. Now, she was determined to get closer to this guy. She wanted to do something memorable. So one night at 4 a.m., she sneaks out of her house. She's barefoot, she's in a hoodie, and she's carrying a bag of garbage. She walks 3 blocks to this kid's house. Her heart is pounding. She really wants him to like her back. When she gets there, she takes the garbage bag and she dumps all of the garbage all over his lawn. She then rings the doorbell and sprints home. The next day in class, she overhears this kid talking. Hey, did anything weird happen to anybody else last night? No, why? Somebody dumped garbage all over my lawn at 4 a.m. and then rang my doorbell and ran away. And this was her chance. That was me. Oh, okay. Thanks. Of course. And he didn't talk to her for months after that. Why did she think that would work? That's absolutely insane.
Now this is unfortunate. One day during school, it's in between classes and this kid is booking it down the hallway. He's running to the bathroom. Why? Because he needs to throw up. So he's running, he's holding his stomach, he's sweating. It looks pretty bad. But the history teacher sees this. He's strict, he's very dramatic. Hey, you there! We do not run in the corridor! The kid doesn't say anything, he just keeps running. Oh no, you don't! The teacher blocks off the hallway with his arms. But as he says this next thing in the middle of a sentence, this kid pukes and it goes into the teacher's mouth. You will walk respect. What? The teacher then pukes. The kid continues to go to the bathroom and the entire hallway's watching like, yo, what the freaking heck just happened? Obviously, the kid never got in trouble for running because, well, he was feeling sick, but the history teacher's reputation was tainted permanently. That's insane. It's 1 a.m. at Ryan's birthday sleepover. I'm Ryan. Pizza boxes everywhere, video games on the TV, and then Ryan falls asleep. Hey, yo, birthday boy fell asleep first. Do we have to mess with him? And so they did. One kid grabs a permanent marker and begins drawing stuff on his face. No. Another kid takes the entire bag of Cheetos and begins dumping it on his chest and putting Cheetos in his pockets. Cheetos here, some Cheetos there, mountain of Cheetos right here, Cheetos in your pocket. Nice. Then one kid takes a raw hot dog out of the fridge and puts it in his ear. Yeah, hot dog. And that's what woke him up. What's going on? Why am I covered in Cheetos? Don't look in the mirror. What do you mean? But the thing is, Ryan didn't see this as some sort of lighthearted prank. He saw red and began freaking the absolute heck out. You guys are dead. He begins throwing stuff all around the basement. Plates are shattering, windows broken. He takes the tiniest kid there, named Jensen. I'm Jensen. Picks him up and throws him at the flat screen TV. Jensen's fine, he's got a couple bruises, but the TV is destroyed, and pretty much so is the entire basement. His parents then wake up, come downstairs to see what's going on, and they freak out as well. They send everybody home, and Ryan was grounded for a month. This kid named Matt was spending the night at his friend's house for the first time. They had been best friends since the start of the year, but he had actually never stayed at his house before. Everything was pretty normal at first. Pizza, video games, all that. Before bed, the dad walks into their room and says, "All right, boys, remember, no flushing the toilet after 10 p.m., okay?" Matt just laughs. He thinks the guy's joking. "This ain't no joke, son. I'm serious. If you have to go, go, but don't flush until morning." Then he just walks out. What's that about, dude?" "Yeah, man, my dad's really strict about the water bill. He says flushing at night's a waste." "Bro, what if I gotta dump one?" "You just don't, okay?" Alright, weird, but whatever. Matt and this kid go to sleep. Fast forward to 2 a.m. Matt wakes up, and of course, he's gotta go to the bathroom. He tries to hold it, but it's impossible. His stomach is rumbling, if you catch my drift. But finally, he sneaks out of bed. He heads to the bathroom. He's extra quiet. He does his business and then stands up. When he stands up and looks into the toilet, he's debating. Should I flush or not? There's literal in there. He's gonna flush. This is stupid. Big mistake. Within seconds, he hears footsteps. Fast footsteps. Coming straight for the bathroom. Before he can even react, the door swings open. His friend's dad is wide awake, standing there, staring at him. Get out. Okay, I'm going back to sleep. No. Get out of my house. Alright. It was 2 in the morning. He had to call his parents, wake them up, and they had to come get him. He told his parents what happened, and they never let him go to his best friend's house ever again. So one day in 7th grade, this kid got called into the principal's office. He had no idea why. He walks in, sits down, and the principal just stared at him. The principal asks, "So, you want to tell me what you did?" The kid's confused. "I have no idea what you're talking about." That's when the teacher walks in, and she looks pissed. "Don't play dumb, you know exactly what you did." Now the kid's kind of panicking. "I swear I don't know, what did I do?" "You skipped my class yesterday, but I know you were at school because I saw you before and after lunch." "What were you doing?" "Huh? Probably something illegal." But here's the thing. He was literally in her class yesterday. "No, I wasn't. I was in class. I was sitting on my usual seat." "You're crazy. I took attendance, and you were not there. Detention." Now at this point, this kid is super frustrated. He already did not like this teacher. Now she's accusing him of skipping her class for whatever reason. So he asks the principal one simple question. "You have security cameras in every hallway, right?" Of course we do, yeah, for the safety of the school." "Then check them." The room goes silent. The teacher grows pale because she knows she messed up. They send the kid to sit outside the office while they looked at the cameras, and 15 minutes later, they called him back in. "We checked the footage. You were in class." "I know." "You can go. I'll handle your teacher." But as he was walking away from the office, he could hear the principal yelling at the teacher. "Now why on God's green earth would you make something like that up?" "Oh, I didn't, I You better shut your mouth. You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice." This is absolutely crazy. So there's this one freshman in high school, and his parents are out of town for the week. Well, instead of playing Xbox every day after school, he does something absolutely insane. He builds an actual wrestling ring in his backyard. I'm talking wood frame, ropes, the whole thing. And at school, he starts telling people, "Every day after school, my house, wrestling matches, $2 to get in." And for the first few days after school, it's just a couple of kids messing around. But then it started getting serious. One kid begins managing fighters and training them. Another's making poster for the big fight on Friday. People are putting money down. They're making actual bets. And these fighters are training all week. Well, by Thursday and Friday, it's not just this backyard thing anymore. Half the school is showing up. There's bets being placed, referees with whistles. It's absolutely insane. Well, finally Friday is the big fight, and it is beautiful. Until this kid's dad comes home and sees what's going on. "What the heck is going on here? Oh my God!" And the whole thing was shut down instantly. But those who went to that school never forgot the week of backyard wrestling. That's kind of crazy.
So there was this one teacher, and he lost his frickin' mind. At this one school, every single spring, there was this thing called Wildlife Week. For one whole week, classes would go outside the school and go into the woods, and they would just explore, learning about wildlife and creatures and stuff like that. It was everyone's favorite week. But this one teacher, older, gray hair, mid-50s, he decided that the kids in his class had to pay a wildlife tax. "For this year, kids, you have to pay me if you want to participate in Wildlife Week. The students are sitting there stunned, and one kid was just like, I ain't paying for that, old man. There will be consequences if you don't cooperate. Prove it. Well, that made this teacher incredibly mad, and he snaps. He walks 3 steps towards this kid and just punches him right in the face. The kid's knocked out cold. The teacher's looking around like, oh my god, what did I just do? School security runs in because they heard all the ruckus. They dragged this guy out of the school. He was fired. He went to jail for a little bit, and yeah, that's it. But, hey, that's crazy.
This bully got a dose of karma. Right by the front entrance of this middle school, there was this carpet, and everybody had to walk across it as they were entering the school. But this one kid made it his personal game. Every morning when this one kid would enter, he would slide the carpet out of the way and pour his water bottle down. He's coming. Watch this. It was the same target every single day. This one curly-headed kid named Jerry. I'm Jerry. And this kid just took it. He accepted his fate. He always fell for it. He slipped and fell every single morning. But one morning, the plan backfired. A school security guard was walking through the doors right behind Jerry. And the bully does it. Jerry slips, but so does the security guard. Thud. He fell down right in front of everyone. Oh no, you! That was on purpose! No, you're coming with me. The bully then got suspended, and when he came back, he never did it again. And Jerry was finally free. Isn't that nice? One day in history class, this teacher just frickin' lost it. He'd been on edge all week about kids' backpacks being in the aisles. He kept tripping over them. If I see one more backpack sticking out, we're gonna have a frickin' problem. Well, the next day, he sees one. He stops teaching and says this. All right, every one of you, backpacks in front of my desk right now. People are confused, but they start dragging him up and leaving their backpacks in front of his desk. Then he stands up, goes to the first backpack, unzips it, and then dumps the entire thing on the floor. Books, homework, snacks all fall out into this one messy pile. Yo, dude, that's my stuff. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And one by one, he goes down the line, dumping out everybody's stuff into the same pile. Hey, what are you doing? You think I'm kidding? You think this is some frickin' joke? By the end, there's a mountain of student stuff covering half the classroom floor. Some kid takes a picture. Parents start calling the school before the day is even over. And the next morning, there's a substitute in his seat. Apparently, that was the last straw. And that teacher was fired. Hey. That's kind of messed up. The fight started in the hallway, slamming into lockers, shouting, loud noises. When it was finally over, one teacher saw one kid whose shirt was ripped. And that was Ethan. Hey, I'm Ethan. Ethan didn't throw a punch. He wasn't even a part of the fight. He was just the one who was trying to pull his best friend Marcus off of the other kid. So when the principal called Ethan to the office, Ethan just took the hit. Did you do this? Yeah, I did. And what about your friend Marcus? I saw him near you. Was he involved too? No, he wasn't. It was all me. He's suspended for 3 days. When he comes back, a few people treated him a little differently, like he was some sort of, bad kid. But a couple days later, his friend Marcus couldn't hold it in anymore. He felt guilty. So he went to the principal's office. He was crying. He told them the complete truth. The next day, Ethan's called in. You could have cleared your own name. Why didn't you? Nah, it just didn't feel right. Marcus has got enough stuff going on. I'm incredibly proud of you, Ethan. I am. By the end of that year, Ethan's grades aren't perfect. But the principal writes him a college recommendation letter. And it was so good that he got into his first choice college. That's amazing. These two sisters begged for a dog. Please, please, Dad. The dad would always say, you girls are not responsible enough. Well, years go by, and after years of pleading, the dad finally caves in a little bit. He compromised and brought home a pot-belly pig. Oh my god, a piggy! They named her Sonic because she would sprint around the house like lightning. And for a while, Sonic was family. She would nap underneath the dining room table, roll over for belly rubs. She would even let the family rest their feet on her like she was a footrest. Well, Sonic didn't stay small. Within months, she grew into a 4-foot pig that lived in the patio. Well, then came the house renovations that were supposed to be done. The dad said the workers were going to be there all the time and there was nowhere for Sonic to stay. She's got to go somewhere. She can't stay here. Well, honey, we have to figure this out. We can't just, let her go. They begged. The mom looked around and she found a country club that was willing to house her temporarily while the renovations were getting done. But the dad said no. Weeks later, the mom and the daughters flew to Sydney, Australia to visit some family. One night, the phone rang. and it was the dad. So nobody agreed to take Sonic. Okay, I'll make some more calls. Don't bother, I put her down. She's gone. It's for the best, okay? Have fun. What? The three of them just sat there in silence. They were stunned. Your dad killed Sonic. What? No. No. They were absolutely devastated. That dad is the absolute worst. And, rest in peace. So this kid gets paired with the laziest person in class for a group project, and he decides to handle it in the most savage way possible. They're supposed to be splitting the work 50-50. 50-50. So he messages his partner one night, hey, you want to do the research for the slides? The next day he responds, I don't know, you pick what I do. So the guy decides to split it in half. Alright, I emailed you half the slides, send me yours when you're done. Because that sounds fair, but then after that, radio silence. Yo bro, did you finish? Nothing. He tries talking to him during school. Hey dude, gotta go man. The heck? It's the night before the project. Yo man, are you done? Partner responds, yeah, don't worry about it. Presentation day, they're up third, and this guy's got his part ready to go. Clean, put together. He did his research, he's solid. His partner shows up with nothing. Literally nothing. Bro, where's your part? I thought we're just gonna wing it. The teacher calls him up. Okay, let's see what you two have. They stand up and this kid goes first. He goes to his slides. Okay, so we each did half of the work. I'm gonna go first. He presents it flawlessly. He's confident, well-researched, and then he looks to his partner. All right, man, your turn. He freezes. The partner gets up there to try to wing it, and he presses the button to go to the next slide. And all the slide said was, this section was assigned to Carlos. Bro, you didn't do it? You didn't do your part? No. He gets full credit. Yes. You get 0. And the kid sat down, proud of himself, while his partner stood up there completely shocked. The rest of the class just laughed. Yo, that's savage. School's over this one day, and this kid's grandpa pulls up. Windows down, and he's waving his grandson over. Hey, come here. Hey, come on, I'm here. Kid's like, okay. Yeah, it wasn't his grandson. It was a kid that had the same jacket and the same backpack as him. But for some reason, the kid still gets in the car, and the grandpa starts driving away. So how was school, buddy? Kid's like, good. That's what I like to hear. The grandpa makes it halfway back home when the kid finally says, sir, I'm not your grandson. What? Oh, Jesus. Now cut back to the school. This kid's actual grandson's like, I don't know where he is. The grandpa then screeches back into the parking lot. I had the wrong kid. I have the wrong kid. That one's my grandson. Oh, hey, okay. Well, now I actually missed my bus. Do you think you can actually drive me home? Sure. So now he has his grandson in the car and the kid he thought was his grandson in the car. Dude, you got kidnapped by my grandpa. I know, it's crazy. The next day, those two sat by each other at lunch. And they've been best friends ever since. That is beautiful. This kid considered himself a genius. I'm a genius. He knew everything about smartphones and how to fix them. So he decided he was going to start a business. He told people that he was running a phone repair service. And he got his first 2 customers. And done. Here's yours, and here's yours. It was easy money, and word spread really fast. Suddenly he had classmates, kids in other grades, and even people from outside of school hitting him up. And then teachers started asking him, hey, I heard you run a little service, so my screen's cracked. Can you fix it for me? Absolutely. Now, prices vary depending on the severity of the damage, but he would charge $30 to fix an older phone. If it was a newer phone, it'd be around $80. And if he had to fix a camera lens or something like that, more serious, it could be up to $200. And he was smart. He didn't stop at just the repairs. He started supplying and selling phone cases as well. I got cheap cases for $10, I have wallet cases for $20, and I have designer cases for $50. Which one is it? And he would of course sell screen protectors. $5 flat, sometimes $12 if you wanted a really good one. He ran the service throughout high school, and over the years he serviced so many phones and he pocketed thousands of dollars. And honestly, that's genius. You gotta respect the hustle. This kid was sleeping over at his friend's house, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, hungry. I'm hungry. He remembers that there was graham crackers in the kitchen, and he figured that'll work. So he gets up and he steps out of the room, but the second he lays foot in the hallway, What? A motion sensor alarm goes off. Within seconds, the lights turn on and his friend's dad comes barging out of his bedroom. Who's out here? You. It's just me. I was getting a snack. The dad then pointed to multiple small boxes on the baseboard of the hallway. You see these, kid? Motion sensors. No one's allowed to leave their rooms after midnight. He heads back into the bedroom and his friend's awake. Hey, bro, I'm sorry about that. Dude, that's so messed up. You have a curfew for inside your house. I know, it sucks. And this was so uncomfortable for him that he never slept at that house ever again. It started at lunch one day when this kid pulled out a Ziploc bag of perfectly peeled orange slices. It was clean, cold citrus. Immediately, the kid next to him goes, "Yo, can I have one?" "Yeah, for $1." The next day, he brings 2 bags. The day after that, he brings 5 bags. He starts charging people $1 per baggie. And people actually paid. Business was absolutely booming. He calls it the Fresh Citrus Company. And he draws his logo on each Ziploc bag with a Sharpie. It's an orange with sunglasses on. Within a couple weeks, business was booming so much that he was bringing these unpeeled oranges to school, and he had hired 2 other students to help him peel them throughout the day. He had trained them on how to peel because part of his business was having the perfectly peeled orange slices. He called these guys his citrus team, and he split some of the profits with them. But it all ends when a teacher pulls him aside and tells him that he has to stop.
You aren't allowed to sell food on school grounds unless approved by the district. You're shut down.
He challenged this, but then the principal got involved and it was kind of a whole thing, so the business was shut down. That day, he got together with his citrus team. They each had one last slice together, and they went their separate ways. It's been an honor, team. I will peel oranges for you anytime. Godspeed. Godspeed. You gotta respect the hustle.
When she was in 2nd grade, her older sister got glasses, and instantly she wanted a pair of glasses as well. So she told her parents.
I can't see the board at school.
So they take her to the eye doctor. He does a test, and she's pretending like she can't see. 2 minutes in, he says, yeah, she's lying. She can see fine. But her parents still believed her, and they're like, no, you better give her some glasses. He writes a prescription, and just like that, a week later, her glasses are ready. At first, she loved them, even though she couldn't really see in them because, well, she lied during that test. But she loved the frames, she loved the attention she was getting, but she kept wearing them for years. And her eyes kept adjusting to the prescription, and the prescription kept getting stronger and stronger. We'll flash forward 10 years, and now every day, she wears a pair of the thickest glasses because she actually can barely see without them now. And she's pretty sure it's because back in 2nd grade, she lied when taking the eye test, and she ruined her eyesight forever. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
This girl's parents were so strict. They banned birthdays at their house. No cake, no candles, no parties. So on her 13th birthday, her friends found out. Wait, so you never had a birthday party ever? Nope, never. They were stunned. That is so messed up. You know what? Tomorrow night, we're throwing you one. One of them's house was the perfect spot. A huge backyard, a pool, lights were already strung up for vibes, and they spread the word. By sundown the next day, the backyard was packed. Music blasting, kids cannonballing in the pool. The girl who was hosting the party's parents were there just to keep everyone safe. But they were just sitting back relaxing. Everyone was even chanting her name when she walked in. Marissa, Marissa, happy birthday, Marissa. And for the first time ever, she had a birthday cake with real candles in it. And right as she blew out those candles, there they were. She saw her parents walk into the backyard. Everyone got silent. What is this? Her friend stepped in. Hey, she deserves this. It's her 13th birthday. Her parents looked around and there was dozens of people just staring at them. They were uncomfortable, so they just said, all right, well, we'll pick you up here at 10, okay? 10 p.m. And they left. But still, that was the birthday that she would never, ever forget. So this kid gets yelled at for not turning in math homework. Teacher goes, you'll never make it in the real world like this. And the kid said, I'm not trying to make it in your world. The class laughs, the teacher's annoyed. Well, here's the thing. This kid's been working with his cousin on buying and fixing up old vending machines. They would then stock it and put it places. By senior year, he's got a handful of these vending machines. And he's pulling more money from these machines than most people make at full-time jobs. And it reminded me of this book I read, 5 Types of Wealth. It'll help you rethink how you're living your life and how you're spending your time. And what this book goes over will lead to success and happiness in multiple areas of your life. I promise. Mr. Donnelly was the new history teacher. Perfectly combed hair, crisp tie, he was very well put together. Then one day, one kid finds him on a bodybuilding website. Apparently, Mr. Donnelly used to compete in bodybuilding competitions. Well, he saw this picture of him, spray tan, oiled up, posing like a bodybuilder, and his bodybuilding name was Titan Steel. Well, this kid tells a bunch of people in his class, and the next morning, good morning class, how are we doing today? Good morning, Titan Steel. He's shocked. Excuse me? Oh, sorry, Mr. Donnelly. And by lunch, Everybody knew Mr. Donnelly's secret. Hey, Mr. Steele, you gonna bench the vending machine? What you got for lunch today, Titan? Bunch of chicken breasts and protein powder? Oh my god. And he's hearing it all day, every day. Whispers of Titan Steele this, Titan Steele that. By January, he freaking snaps. If one more person says that name, I am quitting Titan Steele. The next day, he was gone and there was a sub. He actually quit that job. I guess he would rather be unemployed than be Titan Steele. Wow, that's absolutely insane. Every day this kid would come home with bruises and cuts, and his mom would always ask, "Oh my god, sweetie, what happened to you?" "Oh, just football, Mom. It's rough." But here's the truth. It wasn't from football. After school, there was this fight club that was in somebody's garage who lived near the school. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 kids. It was like 30 of them. They would gather at this guy's garage, they would circle up, and they would throw down. And here's the thing, the guy that hosted this, his parents worked late, so they were never home after school. Alright, gather in! Round 1. Martouche and Kenny. You ready? Let's rock, Salmon Man. And they weren't going easy on each other either. It was insane. There was split lips, busted teeth, and what's the rule of Fight Club? You know it. Nobody talked about it outside of this circle. So every night this kid would walk back in his house, beat up, bloody, and he would say the same thing. "Football practice, Mom. It was rough, but it was never football." That's insane. This kid's stepdad worked for Coca-Cola, and because of that, there was a rule in their house. No Pepsi products, ever. Not in the fridge, not at restaurants, and not at birthday parties. If they were out to dinner, "Yeah, I'll take a Coke with my chicken tenders." "I'm sorry, we only have Pepsi products." "Yeah, no, pack it up. We are leaving. We're going somewhere else, kids." "But my chicken tenders." "I said we're going somewhere else." Even when they were hosting parties at their house, if any of their guests came with Pepsi products, pour it out or throw it away. Those are not allowed in this house. I understand some people have a preference between Pepsi and Coke, but this just went a little too far. That dad sounds insane.
গত রাত তোমার এমন অবস্থা ছিল তুমি তো অ্যাড্রেস বলতে পারছিলে না তারপর কি করবো জসিমউদ্দিন অনেক
কোথায় নিয়ে যাবা
আরে তুমি ভুলে গেছো আজকে না তন্ময়ের বাসায় পার্টি আমরা তো সবাই মিলে এটা
চলছে না সবকিছু একদম নীরব সেটাই ওইটা প্যারা নেই ওইটা আর ম্যানেজ করে নিব তুমি বলো নো আই এম সিরিয়াস আজকে এখন
আমি একটা অন্যায় করে ফেলছি আমাকে মাফ করে দাও
কি অন্যায় করছিস তুই
শুধু বাসার সবাই ভালো আছে এসো ভিতরে এসো
সুমন ভাইয়ের ছেলে সালমানের সাথে যদি বিয়েটা
ছিল না
বলে ফেলো
কি একা একা
আমি আর কখনোই যাবো না এসব পার্টি টার্টি সব বাদ আমি তোমাকে ছুঁয়ে
এই ধরবি না তুই আমাকে জিশান মুভিটা দেখছেন
না এখনো দেখা হয়নি
কিভাবে খবর পায় ওরা আমরা আসার আগে আগে সেইটা খোঁজো নাইলে এই সিন্ডিকেট ধরা যাবে না চলো সামনে দিকে চলো
200 টাকা
হ্যাঁ এটা তো দেখেই বুঝতেছি একদম সেম কেস আমাদের রুগী যে বাঁচবো সেই আশা এই হাসপাতালের সামনে ম্যাক্সিমামই কিন্তু ভাই দালাল। এক রোগ হইব আর পাঠাইবো আরেক ডাক্তারের কাছে। চল।
একটু দাঁড়ান, আমাকে একটু লইয়ে যান, মোরা তো চিনি না, টাকা পয়সা আছে।
মারে ওষুধ কিনতে টাকা লাগে না।
আর আমাদের যা হওয়ার তো আম্মা হয়েই গেছে। খারাপ
তোর কত বন্ধু বান্ধব সেখানে চাষ পাইনি,
তো কোনো কথা ছিল না।
এই হাসপাতালে কয়টা পিএইচডি করা ডাক্তার আছে তাতে সন্দেহ আছে, কিন্তু আমি যে পিএইচডি করা বাট পারে এতে কোনো সন্দেহ না।
মনে হয় খেপে ব্যস্ত আছে, হইতে পারে আশপাশে মনে হয় কোনান জানি বুঝাইতে আছে। আমার কামান করি
না দাদা, আমাকে ভুল আছে অনেক। এই যে লোকগুলো আমরা ঠিক করছি।
কথা কইছ না, যে যেরকম আছে থাক, কাম করতে থাকবে না।
দাদা এর মধ্যে আজকে আবার সমস্যায় কদেই
বুঝো না কিছু নেশা ও তুই।
আমি চাই তুমি ভালো থাকো। আর শোনো, যে জাহাজটা যদি সত্যি সত্যি বানাও তাহলে আমাদেরকে ইনভাইট করো। হ্যাঁ,
তুমি সারাক্ষণ সমুদ্রের সাথে ফিসফিস করে কথা বলবে আর আমি হিংসে করব। আমার হয়তো একটু সাহস বেড়েছে, বোকা ছেলেটা প্রেমে করেছে। আর বিড়ি নিয়ে গেছে, বিড়ির প্যাকেট একটাও ছাড়ে নাই, সবগুলো দুমড়ে মুচড়ে বের হয়ে চলে গেছে। খাবো কি?